Okay, FM 101.7.
Onimunyafo kwadwo opon kroma ena yene no atwetwe nkomo no okay 101.7 so ni minko Honorable Suleiman Yusuf where Bole Bamboi MP. Honorable Suleiman Yusuf, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.
Aboko die
ya danyamiasi
na idia ye die idi fitr na komsheni sallallahu alaihi wasallam ye die no ya chechemu miensa ebi ye bonifache ebi ye yesre humobro ebi num ni ade a ye nyina ye kama pa ne ko basai na ye di na sumdue mu na bole ye sintokwa asori wo ho etututuo nyina abamu.
First of all, let me play with you and speak in English because it's a very sensitive issue.
Okay.
My tree is not very good.
Okay.
I want to, first of all, say good morning to your cherished listeners and to wish all Muslims Bakr Salah, congratulate them for a very successful Ramadan fast and for that matter, Eid al-Fitr. Assalamu alaikum to all the Muslim Ummah in Ghana and beyond.
Okay.
The question you asked has to do with our inability to perform the Eid al-Fitr prayer yesterday in Bole, specifically in the capital of the Bole district. Regrettably, I couldn't join them this year, and so I'm speaking from the information I picked from my people on the ground. I wasn't able to go because I also got visitors from Bole, students from Bole, number about 80, who are with me here in Parliament this morning. And so I couldn't leave them and to join my people to celebrate Eid al-Fitr. Having said this, it's true that there were some disturbances in Bole yesterday. You can trace it to a prolonged or protracted chieftaincy issue that has engulfed the place for some years now. But what really caused the problem from my informants yesterday was that the Muslim Ummah had gathered in the morning to go and do the Eid al-Fitr prayer. When there was an announcement from the chief imam that he had cancelled it. So those around were peeved. They were peeved because they thought that if he had informed them earlier, they could have joined other communities within the Bole district to perform the prayer. But to have waited and only informed them at that late hour, they were not happy. And so some decided that, if the imam will not go, they could go ahead to do it. Now, in my opinion, if they had even gone ahead to do it without necessarily taking his source of authority, because normally the chief imam will have a certain stake that he works with. He leans on it when he's performing his what we call the sermon. And so they went in for it and sent it to the ground to do the prayer in the absence of the chief imam. And so some other youth thought that, look, taking the walking stick from him meant that you are more or less usurping his authority. And so they went to the ground to forcefully pick the walking stick. And that was where they had the Buha had the problem. And of course, it caused some panic, and people started running home. And of course, we already have a chieftaincy issue that was hanging on our neck. And so it triggered that one too. And then the youth started causing problems. And so this is what I can say with respect to what happened yesterday. And on behalf of my people, to apologize to all the Muslim Ummah and Ghanaians as a whole, that what happened yesterday could have been averted, it could have been avoided. Unfortunately, this is where we are. And so we want to apologize to Ghanaians. I have called on my youth, the traditional, the Muslims, the community. Let's sleep dogs lie. You rightly said it. We have just gone through 29 days of fasting. We try to get closer to God. We ask God to forgive us. And if you are asking God to forgive you, and you cannot forgive your colleague, your brother, your friend, why then do you think God will forgive you? We are supposed yesterday, for instance, to have shared a little that we have with the vulnerable, with those who could not afford. People that you want to share what you have with shouldn't be the people you want to kill. Shouldn't be the people you want to beat up. You know. And so I thought that yes, Satan has come in. We should let sleeping dogs lie. We should know that without peace, there is nothing. Without peace, there can't be a chief. Without peace, there can't be a DC. Without chief, there can't be an MP. Without chief, there cannot be an imam. And without peace, there cannot be any development at all. And there's never been a situation where 2 or 3 people will go to war and one will say that I have become victorious. There's nothing like that. Lastly, I called my people this morning on GTV and I told them that I'm pleading with them that, look, we should psyche our minds, that there's nobody anywhere who can come and resolve this matter. We will have to resolve it within ourselves by ensuring that we psyche our minds, get ourselves prepared for resolution. It is only when we do that that we'll be able to resolve this issue. And I know that some of the chiefs have started talking to the youth and calling on them to calm down. And if we do that, I can assure you that we'll be able to resolve this issue. My problem has been the way the security has handled this whole matter. Now, going to the chieftaincy issue, even though I do not want to delve into the nitty-gritties of it, my problem is that I'm not very comfortable with the way the security in Bole handled the matter. For instance, the first chief that was skinned, I know he couldn't have done that if the police, the security in Bole had resisted that. But he was more or less given the chance to enskin. Now there was another one who was also being enskinned. He was also allowed to enskin, even though there were some gunshots leading to the death of a young man. So where was the security when the first one was enskinning? Where was the security when the second one was enskinning? Which even led to the death of an individual, a young man living behind 2 wives and about 7 children. Now, yesterday, the information I picked is that some houses were burnt. The security people were there, but the houses were burnt. So if indeed they knew that they didn't have the numbers and that they wanted to call for a beef up of security they had sent, they should have done that from day one. So that if you don't want any chief to be skinned, you ensure that it never happens. But you allow first chief to be skinned, a second one to be skinned, leading to even to the death of somebody, and now we have houses being burned. When we say that we have security, then I have a problem. Those who matter, in this case, DISEC, RESEC, regional minister, the district chief executive, I'm pleading with them to ensure that there's peace in the area, ensure that there's enough security in the area. The people of Bole Bamboi over the last few months have suffered so much as a result of this chieftaincy conflict. As I speak to you now, because of the curfew, religious activities were affected, be it church service or Muslim prayers. Economic activity affected. By 6 o'clock today, all shops should be closed down. And so nobody is able to come out to buy anything in the evening. Even health-related issues. I was in Bole some couple of weeks ago, and somebody was sick. The parents were afraid to go out because they didn't want the KC hours, they didn't want the police and the military to torture them. So they called me that our child was dying, but we couldn't go out. I had to call the police people and arrange it with them to take the child to hospital. Again, as I speak to you now, children have lost their eyes. I'm told that there was a day that somebody was chased into another person's compound because he was breaking the curfew rules. And when the police or the immigration, whatever, chased the guy into the compound, they ended up hitting a child's eye and breaking the eye.
Oh,
these are some of the things that we are going through there. And so I'm pleading with the national security, the interior minister, regional minister, the Savannah regional minister, the DCE, that yes, it's not a pleasant situation. It is not something that we all wish for, but this is where we have found ourselves, and we are pleading with them to ensure that there is enough security in Bole so that these issues problems that we are going through will be minimized.
I see. Sir, did you in any way anticipate such a occurrence? Yes and no. Yes and no, because the issue is this. We have two chiefs. It is not for me to decide who is the legitimate chief or otherwise. Now we have two chiefs. One was out of Bole for some number of months, and the other was in Bole. And 2 days ago, the one outside Bole arrived in Bole. When he arrived in Bole and I heard it, then I called the regional minister. Regional minister, the information I'm taking is that Chief so is back in Bole, and if nothing is done, it will lead to chaos. And so I want to find out from you if you are aware of it, and if you put enough security in place to avert any chaos. And he assured me that, and so at that point, I suspected that if nothing was done, there would be chaos. And so if you ask me whether I suspected something, yes, from that point, I suspected that if there was no enough security, then there will be chaos. Now, the regional minister assured me and said he was even on his way to Bole, and that he was going to meet with the two sides. Indeed, he met with the two sides, and after that, he called me and told me that he had gone to speak with the two sides and asked that they should calm down, and that the overlord of the Gonja traditional area had put in place a committee that was working to resolve the issue. And so he pleaded with them to hold themselves and to behave well while the committee settled the matter. I told him that even that, you still will need to put enough security in place. If not, the kind of word round that I have had been beaten around, it could lead to a chaotic situation. So yes, I suspected something. But of course, I trusted the words of the regional minister, and I thought that enough security would have been there, and so there wouldn't be any problem. But unfortunately, we woke up, and it was a bitter experience. Yesterday, I didn't enjoy my Salah. In fact, if I was even in Bole, it would have been better, so that I see what was going on myself, rather than taking information from third parties. I was so worried. I didn't know who was telling me the truth and all of that. But thank God we are here today. What is important now is for us as a people to first of all know that we are the same people. This matter that we're talking about has to do with the same clan. Somebody and his grandfather, somebody and his father, somebody and his grandson. The same clan. And so it should be easy to resolve it. If indeed they are giving the necessary support. Sir, as an MP of the area, when are you stepping foot to Bole?
Yes, so I spoke with the regional minister. As and when there's a need for me to go, I'll go. But as we speak, if I go to Bole, all I'll do is to speak to the youth. And I have used other mediums to speak to them. And I've also spoken to the regional minister, and I'm working with the DC. That is for me what is important. And I've also spoken to some youth leaders in Bole, and I've asked them to mobilize their people and to talk to them and to let them know that we have only Bole and nothing else, nowhere else to go. And so if we all destroy Bole, we won't have a place to go. I'm happy to hear that some of the chiefs were on radio calming down tempest. And I think that is the way to go.
I see. We thank you so much for talking to us, sir.
I thank you for this opportunity, and I ask that you join me in prayer so that peace will be restored in the Bole Bamboi constituency, and for that matter, the Bole district. I know that this is a district, this is a constituency that is very, very important in the history of this country, and we shouldn't destroy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honorable Suleimana Yusuf, Bole Bamboi.
Okay, FM 101.7.